We're going to show you how to rack focus when you're doing time lapse. You're going to want to see this. Hi, this is JP Morgan. Today on Slanted Lens, we're out here in Zion, and I'm going to do some time lapses where we rack focus. Just a very simple process of racking focus. Remember some of the principles of a time lapse. 1, make sure your autofocus is off. 2, make sure you know exactly where your end and beginning point of your focus is. I want to make a little mark on my lens so I know A and B, so I can rack my focus between those 2 points. And the distance. I've got a little mark on my slider so that I know where it is that I start to rack my focus. I only rack every 3rd frame, so I don't want it to be very fast. It's just a very slow focus rack. I don't want to do it really quickly in 2 frames. It's just going boop. I want to do it over at least 1 or 2 seconds. Oh, sounds something in the back. I thought it was a squirrel in my backpack. I thought there was a squirrel in my backpack, which I've already had once or twice, trying to eat my Snickers bar. I've been using a new slider system by Syrup, which I absolutely love. It's individual carbon fiber pipes that come apart. You have one section that it gives you the structure, and then you have the brace pieces. As you connect them all together, it gives you a great slider. So of course I packed everything in my Alta Sky 450. I put all the slider pieces in the tripod pouch on the back, which worked out wonderfully, then just carried the tripod up. This makes it really easy to take the pieces up, assemble them, shoot your time lapse, break it down and go. So we're going to shoot now into sunset, get some final pieces as we go into sunset, and then we'll be trying to hike out of here in the dark. For this section of the video, we stopped a little ghost town that's on our way back towards LA. It's called Grafton. It's just outside of Zion. I've probably been coming here for 30 years. It's an interesting little town. They've kind of updated it, repaired it. They shot several scenes from Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid here. It's just nice to be out here all alone as the sun comes up. So I took my slider and I put it on the porch. I've got the 263 tripod on one side, and that's the taller tripod off on the ground. And then I've got the little VO up on the porch. I wanted the camera to move off the porch so that the beam post gives us a nice parallax in the foreground as it moves across the camera, and see the shadow of the sun dropping slowly down the wall. And it gives me a nice move. So it took me about 40 minutes, did a 40-minute time lapse there, shooting every 4 seconds. And then at the very end of it, I racked the focus through the mountain in the background that you could see through the porch. What's making this successful is that I'm not shooting with a 24 or wider lens. I'm at 50 to 70, sometimes 40. But I want the foreground to be able to focus on the foreground, and allows the background to go out of focus. And then I can pull the focus from the foreground into the background. I am changing every second exposure as I move the focus. So it'll go click, click, a little adjustment, click, click, a little adjustment. I'm figuring if it takes me between 12 and 24 frames to move the focus, then that's a movement of between a half a second to a second, to be able to make that kind of slow transition to the focus shifting from the foreground to the background. Could do it longer. I could decide to go every 4th frame and allow it to go more into like 2 seconds. And sometimes if you got a long time lapse, that's really appropriate to do that. So there's a look at kind of how we're pulling the focus and using that new slider. Got up early and came out as the sun came up. Just a wonderful place. It was freezing cold out here, man, when I got here. It really was cold. But it's feeling a lot nicer now as the sun's gotten up a little bit. So I'm heading back to the car and packing up my stuff and heading back to LA, where I know it won't be cold at all, but it's sure been great being here. I love being out like this. Great place. I love photography that allows me to get out like this, and doing the time lapses and things just is so fun. Anyway, so keep those cameras rolling, keep on clicking. It's December and time to give away a lot of great gifts for the holidays. Wonderful things for the listeners of the Slanted Lens. So go to theslantedlens.com where you can enter to win tripods and lenses and platforms and triggers and everything with spice. So get over to theslantedlens.com today.